Hi there, I'm making a test here. This is an Olympus mirrorless camera, OMD EM1 Mark III. Came out a few months ago. It's connected to the computer with just a simple USB cable. Late last week, Olympus released some software for your computer that will interface the camera to the computer directly. You don't have to use a capture card like the Elgato 4K and things like that, which are about in good times $150, and bad times $250. So this is just a normal cable goes right to your computer. It's in beta. So the reason I'm using the microphone is the beta does not send any audio over. It just sends the picture. So I'm testing this out. I'm using a 25 millimeter f 1.2 lens. I wanted something really fast to hopefully get the background out of focus, but I actually don't think it really is out of focus like I'd like it to be. I might try the Sony A6100 I have too and see how that compares. I'm doing this. It's almost 7 p.m. and it's still bright out. I was hoping it'd be a little darker out so it wouldn't look so washed out. Um, as it is, I have the exposure +1. I would have the exposure like higher, more exposure, so my face would come out a little brighter. And I was hoping maybe the background would look better, but it doesn't really. Um, Maybe if I did this around 7:30 or 8 p.m., it would look better. Um, the lighting is a single Elgato key light, which is over there. I have it turned up all the way to 11. Ideally, to get that background, the outside looking better, I probably need 2 or 3 of those key lights cranked up all the way. Um, I would have thought the one key light, I think it's 5 to 6 feet away from me. I would have thought that would have been pretty bright, but I guess not. Um, so I'm looking, you see me look to the left here, I have OBS is recording this at a constant bit rate, I think 25,000 or so. It would just be a short recording, nothing fancy. Um, Hopefully the sound's okay. I do have a DBX 226 processor on it, but I bumped the knobs and everything, and it was sounding really whacked out. So I pressed the button to bypass any of the processing. So I hope this sounds pretty good. I got to go through and reset up those knobs so it doesn't sound like I'm horribly distorted. SM7B microphone here, pretty common. They were using these literally when I was a teenager in radio. They're a staple, very reliable. Um, I have another one you've probably seen on my stream that looks cooler, is Sennheiser, and I use that on the stream simply because it looks cooler. You really can't go wrong with this Sennheiser. Um, you know, not to digress, but yeah, it's an XLR connector here. It kind of bothers me when I hear people say, yeah, well, XLR mics are better than USB. While that might be true, you got to ask yourself why, because there's nothing inherently better about an XLR cable than there is about a USB cable. It's simply that the preamps that these go into, they put more money and thought into them. The Focusrite preamps, for example, whereas your USB mic has a preamp just like the XLR does, but it's built into the mic, and it's for a different audience, for streamers or podcasters. They don't want to spend more than $150, so it's not going to have the great circuitry, but it certainly could. They could make a $2,000 USB mic, no problem. That would sound like $1,000,000, but you'll find people that are doing high-end recording and stuff. They like to pick their microphone preamps separately. Maybe get a tube one, maybe this, because they're really into the sounds. I mean, a big recording engineer might have 20 different mic preamps and a whole bunch of mics, even ones of different serial numbers, the same model. There'll be one that will sound a little bit different that a certain singer will ask for, that certain mic. So it gets really complex, and I think for the streamers and stuff, You know, that's the USB mics are fine. I think they're getting the quality is a lot better too. The latest ones that the Elgato Wave and 1.3 and the that one that's red and there's a quad something or other. They're all good. Um, some have a you can change the pattern on them. Something like the Wave you can't. I think it's always in front. But they're all really good now. I think it's really does it look cool for your stream? Um, is the software cool? Now that's what the Elgato Wave I think is really nice for. The Wave software makes things very easy. You could do that, you know, with say Voicemeeter Banana. I even think you could have like different levels. Um, if you went into OBS and used fed things into it, using the virtual things, fed things into it separately, and kind of tweak things in there versus what you hear in your headphones. But you know, it's even OBS isn't that simple. But when you get into Voicemeeter Banana, wow, I mean, I had a full head of hair before I started using Voicemeeter Banana. It's just you'll just go in there one day and nothing will work, and it's so I realized that there's a challenge there, and it's pretty cool what the Elgato Wavelink software does. Um, might be harder in a 2 PC setup. Yeah, that's. I wish more people would come out with software like that to sell it separately. You know, the stream and really make it have more things, more channels than just a few there. Make it so you could have like even more things. The separate mix capability is good. It's not something you'd get by having an external mixer. That the type that makes submixes and stuff is pretty complex. You'd have to get to auxiliary sends and stuff to actually have the control that you have in that wavelength. Um, I don't know how I got off on a tangent here. I should make these videos just kind of like my thoughts on certain things and kind of stick to a topic and organize them a little bit better. Um, but anyway, just a short thing to see how it will look. I'll play this back, probably upload it to YouTube just for a couple of people privately. I hope everybody out there is safe and that this madness around us is over with soon. Bye bye.